Hey, it's Matt McKenzie. I'm back again. We just finished installing Server 2019. This video we're going to go over promoting it to be a domain controller. So you'll have Active Directory and DNS and be able to set up user accounts, join PCs to the domain. So in our last video we installed Server 2019 desktop experience, gave the server a static IP address, and renamed the server. And so this step, we're going to go in to add roles and features once server manager finishes collecting data. Alright, looks like it finished. So you always get the initial splash page. Turn it off for next time. We're going to do a role-based install. And we're going to choose this server. If you had other servers, technically you could install a role remotely. We're going to choose Active Directory Domain Services and add all the features. We're going to choose DNS server because we need DNS in order for it to be a DC. If you're not doing DHCP on the switch or firewall router, check the box, go ahead and get it set up on the server. But for this scenario, we're not going to do DHCP. So we're going to go ahead and click Next. And obviously they give you an option to configure connect with Azure AD Directory Connect. We're not going to do that either this video. So just click Next, restart if you need to, click Install. It shouldn't require us to restart at this step. When we promote, then will require us to reinstall or to reboot. So alright, well, we'll give it a few minutes, come back. Alright, and we're back. The role finished. So we're going to go ahead and do promote this server to a domain controller. You get a couple questions. If you got an existing domain and you're just adding on, you can choose, say if you're making a secondary DC or planning on migrating to a new DC, you can just go in and add it to an existing domain. Say if you're, hey, same forest but new domain, you can still do that. But for our sake, new domain, new forest. We're gonna do what you call it, .local, so that it's not external routable. Since we're doing new domain, doesn't really matter on the forest domain function. If you're gonna add some legacy servers, you would probably want to bump it back. Say if you had to join in some 2008 servers, you wouldn't want to be domain function 2016. Directory services restore mode password. It's going to be your local admin password if you have to get into safe mode. Read-only domain controller we can't do because obviously this is the first DC in this forest. But if we had an, if this is a secondary server in an insecure location, you could set up a read-only domain controller. Changes can't be made to it, but users can use it for logging in if you specify them as being one to use it for that login service. Of course, it's not going to find a authoritative zone. Net bias name. It's going to be the first part of, like, say if you do a username, logging on a different PC, you might have to do, the net bias name / your username. So if you're putting in say if you're doing a cut over to a new domain, but you're having to migrate over, you might change it if you're naming the domain name to be different or slightly different. These are pretty important folders, obviously, for AD. You can choose to keep it in the default location. You can choose to move it. Either way, you need to make sure you keep them backed up. now it's going to go through and check our prereq, make sure we have all of our requirements to promote this server as a domain controller. And we obviously passed, and still got some encryption stuff for NT40, which is kind of funny. Obviously DNS, hey, no authoritative parent zone, so can't do that. But either way, that's all that's pretty common. Go ahead and do install. It'll take a little bit, and then we'll reboot and we'll log in as the domain. It takes your administrator account on this server and makes it the domain administrator account once the domain is finished being created. Okay, role finished. It's going to restart the server. Alright, we're back and ready to go. So we'll go ahead and log in as administrator. I'm actually domain administrator now. I'll double check. It's supposed to change our DNS to 127.0.0.1. Just go in and double check real quick. DNS server probably set to point itself to loop back, which it is. So we're good to go there. And now we've got Active Directory, users and computers. Got our domain. Our account obviously is here. That's pretty much it. I will go over in another video on better practices on setting up domain Active Directory OU structure. So join us in the next video.